Hello again everyone and welcome back to the Chassis Variant series of myself, Critical Rocket. Here we are with Blood Asp still, and we are on the Charlie. And by that I don't mean like cocaine or anything. That came out badly, didn't it? No, we're not doing drugs. Not here, not right at the moment. We're looking for a new supplier. Anyway, so we're on the C variant of the Blood Asp, and this is the pretty much all ballistic variant of it. And that said, it's not a huge number of ballistics hardpoints. The Charlie version includes 3 ballistics with a single energy hardpoint, and these are spread across the mech, so there's not even a single cluster that you could say use one of the omnipods for. It has a ballistic in the left arm, ballistic in the left torso, and a ballistic in the right torso, and the energy in the right arm. It has no ECM this version, does not carry jump jets. And yeah, that said, it's probably the weakest version of the mech as far as hardpoints stand. As far as weapons stand, it's actually quite powerful. It has 2 Ultra AC-10s and a single LBX-20, backed up by 1 lonely ER large laser. This version was specifically designed around dueling, so it's more themed around the clan's sort of style of combat. Probably this was a mech version that was used in inter-clan rivalries and duels that were set up on the battlefield, or maybe against certain Innisphere pilots and such to come up against. Mainly because it's, as an assault, can obviously tank enough damage that once it does get within range of those cannons, it's going to tear ass through whatever it comes across, for the most part. So, as such, it can do a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. One of its problems, though, is because it's built around doing damage as quickly as humanly possible, it sacrifices a lot of ammunition, because the idea is that you don't miss your shots, you get in, you keep the trigger down until it's dead, and then you leave the field. Obviously in MechWarrior Online, that isn't how you work it. In MechWarrior Online, you need longevity, you need the ability to keep firing those guns for as long as possible. And that is one of the problems with Omni-Mechs, because you can't dick about too much with them. Sacrifice armor, that's a bad idea on a mech like this. The Blood Asp has pretty pronounced side torsos with or without those barrel extensions, and thus it's a pretty prime target to get those side torsos removed. So you don't want to reduce the armor on those things. You can't reduce the engine size, and there's no other superfluous equipment to remove. No targeting computers or anything like that. No case, since that's already built in anyway. You're stuck with a mech that, unless you decide to remove one of the weapons to free up ammunition for the other 2, or 1 in this case with the LB-20, you're kind of stuck. You could remove the ER large and free up several tons for your ammunition, but then you're running on the point that if your weapons do get destroyed and your ammo goes with it, you're going to have literally nothing to back you up. It's a pretty tough build to run, probably with some refactor, like looking at it, maybe changing it into a triple LB build or something like 5s or 10s, would probably work a lot better, a lot more in its favour. As such, as a standard design, it kinda sucks. It's probably the low point of the Blood Asp really in MechWarrior Online. As I said, as a tabletop thing, it works pretty well. It's friggin' deadly. When you can just roll the thing in, you can double tap the the Ultra AC-10s and basically do a UAC 40, and then have the LB-20 on top. 60 points of damage spread across an enemy mech. It's pretty terrifying. In MWO, of course, 60-point alphas can be produced by mechs that are in a lower weight class than this due to the hardpoint inflation in some designs, or just the fact that some mechs do just carry more guns. As such, this is probably your weakest one. Christ, did you see that Black Knight follower? This is definitely one of the weakest variants. Probably the one that I would not recommend buying. I'm sure there's people out there who've got good builds, and when I say I don't recommend them, it doesn't mean that they're terrible, obviously. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who could easily bring out some kind of nasty build, dual Gauss or something along those lines, but it's, I don't know, compared to its other variants, the other Blood Asps that are on the table, this just doesn't stack up. The next one, the Delta, has 4 and 4. So if you want something with ballistics that's part of its focus, well then the Delta far exceeds this. It's got 1 extra ballistics hardpoint, and it has more options for energy backup. And likely, because you've got that backup with ballistics, anyway, you can probably get a bit more ammunition in, since you're probably going to be taking all the same weapon. You're not going to have this weird mix of very high weight weapons that require a lot of ammunition to make them viable. Plus, without the ability to ammo switch, the LB-20 is only good at virtually point blank range, because you're going to want as many of those shards hitting, whereas if you could ammo switch, you could be solid slug ammunition till you got into range, and then shrapnel rounds when you got close up. But sadly, with I guess the CryEngine being what it is, and a mix of PGI's either unwillingness to try or just their inability to do so, we haven't really had a clear explanation of why it is that they can never bring in ammo switching into MechWarrior Online. It is what it is. LB20s are good, but they could be better. Oh well. Thanks for watching, everybody. This round is starting to wind down now. As you saw, it was very quick. Blink and you miss it kind of thing. It just sort of happened. And yeah, I'll see you next time. We're getting up to the last one of the Blood Asps, and then it's going to be on to the Executioners after that. So yeah, should be fun. Have a good one all. Thanks for watching. Bye.
The jaws of defeat are closing in around us.
Critical damage. Right torso critical damage.